We were reading up on how organizations view their employees within their businesses and within their practices. And I noticed how organizations really see the human aspect in their organizations more as a capital and a resource, really. So I also saw how much organizations wanted to not only manage and control that human capital, but also cultivate it and direct it in a way with the organization. So essentially, that's where organizational behavior comes in.
Why is it important within the organization?
In general, organizational behavior comes into play in multiple facets, but it does mainly stray away from the administration and the use of statistics, but rather more of a thing of how do we see the employee, how does the employee feel about the organization they're in, and how do they feel about their position that they currently hold. And just better understanding that relationship, they use that in order to utilize their skills and their talents in the direction of the organization. So ultimately, that's what it is.
And within the study of organizational behavior, motivation is defined as an undeviating, vigorous persistent of effort towards organizational goals. There are several applicable theories as to how people develop motivation to achieve such goals and what facilitates motivation. The execution of various elements of each theory is a driving force for job attitudes, which are developed depending on the emotions and cognitive processes that ignite corresponding behaviors. The self-determination theory states that motivation is best driven by intrinsic internal rewards over extrinsic rewards.
So, sorry, but intrinsic meaning inner, more like, and extrinsic being external forces.
Yes, exactly that. Extrinsic rewards refers to physical rewards such as pay, and intrinsic rewards refers to the internal rewards such as personal growth, recognition, and career development. And so, in order to enhance effectiveness, organizational effectiveness, such internal rewards are required, as this will improve the quality of work produced and aids in the achievement of psychological needs such as the need for competency and autonomy. Such rewards also appeal to the internal values and interests of employees, resulting in better person-organization fit, meaning that the goals and values of the employee and the goals and values of the organization are in alignment. Thus, organizational identification and organizational commitment can be stimulated as the person's characteristics are in alignment with the organization's characteristics. Active investment of physical, cognitive, and emotional energies are theorized to facilitate job performance, as such energies serve as motives. In the job engagement theory, job engagement is also a job attitude, which is derived from a positive, euphoric, affective component of attitudes that simultaneously drives job satisfaction and involvement. In an age of subjugated employees, such as working mothers,
Subjugated employees.
subjugated employees refers to employees who have faced discrimination within the workforce and were not previously provided with enough support in the workplace, such as
I see.
Such work groups such as working mothers, in order to remain relevant and engaged in the labor market, require the integration of four theories, such as the self-efficacy theory, the reinforcement theory, the equity theory, and the expectancy theory. As such theories drive adaptability and self-efficacy, which are important components of employment. Within this scenario, working mothers attempting to such theories, such as the goal-setting theory, allows an individual to generate increasingly challenging yet specific, time-sensitive, and achievable goals in a manner that stimulates a sense of self-control, enhancing self-efficacy, and thus improving job performance. As each goal is achieved, the employee becomes increasingly motivated to divert more effort towards achieving such goals in order to immediately receive organizational rewards after immediate display of desirable behavior that is utilized to achieve such goals. Within the scenario, the expectancy theory and the reinforcement theory drive job engagement. As the mother gains a passion for work, job performance also improves as an employee is more productive once satisfied. Life satisfaction also increases due to the job and career becoming increasingly fulfilling, and jobs and careers are a large vital aspect of an employee's or an individual's life. Should the working mother receive support and fair treatment and perceive themselves to receive procedural and interpersonal justice, that is where the equity theory then comes into play. Once such a theory then comes into play, organizational citizenship behavior is then displayed by such employees, wherein they are readily available to help other employees and to rise above expectations.
The influence of perception on individual decision-making and judgment in the workplace.
Perception, is that like an individual's view of the world?
Exactly. So to expand on that, in the workplace, perception plays a significant role in decision-making and judgment-making. Perception is a potent psychological process that influences how we interpret and respond to our surroundings. Perception in organizational behavior describes how people choose, arrange, and interpret sensory data to make sense of their workplace. This is essential because an individual's perception of a situation frequently influences their response more than the actual situation. As an example, a manager may give two employees the same feedback, but they may interpret it extremely differently due to personal biases or previous experiences. One person may view the criticism as helpful and constructive, while the other may view it as an unjustified criticism. This could result in entirely different emotional and behavioral reactions. This illustrates how subjective perception is and how it may have a direct impact on relationships, motivation, productivity, and decision-making. Cognitive bias is a significant problem associated with perception. These mental shortcuts facilitate speedy decision-making, but they can also result in mistakes. For example, the halo effect leads us to overlook other significant characteristics and form favorable opinions about someone based on one positive attribute, such as punctuality. Like this, confirmation bias causes people to ignore data that challenges their pre-existing ideas while seeking out or interpreting information that supports them. This might involve offering a preference to an applicant who shares your interests during the hiring process, even if there is a better qualified applicant. These kinds of unconscious biases are particularly harmful because they frequently go unnoticed, despite having an impact on important choices like hiring, promotions, and performance reviews. Unregulated biases in the workplace can have a detrimental impact on employee engagement and retention, diversity, and inclusion. Another example is how managers could mistakenly believe that employees who are quiet or introverted are disengaged, while in fact they may be quite dedicated, but just have a different way of processing information. Such poor decisions can influence who has access to opportunities or assistance, fostering a culture of inequity or animosity. Organizations must spend money on 360-degree feedback systems, organize decision-making procedures, and bias awareness training to lower these risks. Establishing a culture that values candid communication and a range of viewpoints can assist people in questioning their own presumptions and reaching more accurate conclusions.
So what I'm touching on is the importance and effect of putting individuals in the workplace, which is a personal job fit and a personal organization fit. When we talk about putting people together effectively in the workplace, we really talk about how well individuals fit in their occupation and the environment they work in. This is what organizational behavior describes as person job fit and person organization fit. So person job fit, this refers to how well individuals' knowledge, skills, abilities, and interests corresponds with the requirements of a particular job. When the alignment is tough, employees execute tasks more effectively, commit fewer mistakes, and sense of efficiency. This enhances internal motivation, which is a theory we touched on, which is self-determination. Person job fit enhances job satisfaction and lowers stress levels.
What are some examples of that?
Okay, then we get straight into it. Positive person job fit is like putting a cable software engineer and do intricate programming assignments. You'll probably attain flow, which is a state of concentration, resulting in creativity and superior outcome. While a poor person job fit is like assigning a creative marketer into a repetitive, monotonous job, data entry job position. You start to notice lack of interest, detachment, and diminishing results. Then we have person organization fit. This is all about the relation between a person's values, personality, and the culture of the organization. A strong person organization fit ensures alignment of values, cultivates a feeling of belonging, and enhances organizational dedication. Chapman's research indicates that it can greatly decrease turnover, fosters teamwork, and leads to reduce disagreements between workers. For example, a positive person organization fit is like a dedicated employee who's enthusiastic about cars, experiencing pride and inspiration about working at a body shop or mechanic. Because he's so enthusiastic, his personality aligns with the culture of the organization. Whilst a poor person organization fit is like placing a cautious worker in a rapid environment, which might lead him to feeling stressed or having no spirits, because you're most likely get into conflicts with these workers because he has a poor fit within this workspace. His values does not align with the culture of the organization. And then our perception and motivation tied into this is like perception significantly influences how workers evaluate their compatibility. In recruitment and onboarding, individuals develop perception regarding their position in the organization. And then touch on organizational implication, which just states like high fit enhances retention, motivation, and performance, whilst a low fit raises turnover and presenteeism. So in a nutshell, effectively connecting individuals to their roles and their organization is essential for both employee welfare and organizational achievement. There must be a proper alignment between the individual and the